Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Comal ISD looks at demeaning racial comments made during a recent volleyball game, what parents are saying about the school's response to the incident.
And even though a suspect is caught in the case of a Tennessee teacher who has not been found, so far police say the woman has not been found at this point, and the suspect is not saying where she is.
And outside with live cam, looks like it's going to be a pretty decent Labor Day, and then, some changes in temperatures as the week goes on. Good morning. It is Monday, September 5th. It is Labor Day, right?
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah. See, it works because we're laboring on Labor Day.
Yes, indeed.
That's the way we celebrate, I guess.
Here's to all the folks that work hard, whatever you do. So hopefully you're enjoying the day. And if you want to get outside and enjoy it, it's going to be a pretty decent day. 1 or 2 showers in the afternoon, very few and far between. We hardly had anything popping up yesterday. It's going to be pretty much a repeat of that later on. It is going to be on the hot side. Temperature is going to be right about at normal, which is low 90s this time of year. We are starting off with a couple of clouds or some clear skies, and we actually have a hint of fog showing up. Some of the moisture in the ground now, and in a lot of places some clear skies, so that's allowing the what heat there is to escape out into space. And we've got with that moisture, that's causing a little bit of fog there in Uvalde, Pleasanton, Gonzales. Not anything too thick, some around Port SA as well. Temperature right now stands at 73. That also is the normal average low temperature, upper 60s in the hill country. And these numbers are actually down a little bit compared to this time yesterday, the dew points. Now, as the temperature approaches the dew point with these partly cloudy skies in many locations, again, that's one of the reasons, and some of the moisture in the ground, that we are seeing a little bit of that fog form up. Molds on the high side, fall elm is low, and throughout the rest of today, we are going to get up to 85 degrees at noon. Partly cloudy skies, 93 high temperature, and it's going to be a hot one, and a couple of showers, 1 or 2 of them out there. I really wouldn't worry about if you're going to be outside, maybe at the pool or just celebrating with friends, but just keep your umbrella handy. Yeah, the rest of the week, first week of September, is going to feel more summery instead of getting into the first week of the unofficial start of fall here. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, David.
Thank you, Mike. Comal ISD is investigating reports of, quote, highly inappropriate and demeaning comments made on school property, and a parent's Facebook post accuses Canyon High School students of yelling racial slurs during a volleyball game. So Hayes High School parent Jennifer Price says her daughter and several other volleyball players were targeted during Friday night's game against Canyon. She goes on to say that no one was removed from the game, and the students were allowed to continue heckling the Hayes volleyball team after the game. Comal ISD superintendent acknowledged the reported incident with an apology on Facebook. The post says the district, quote, will not tolerate this sort of behavior, end quote. Comal ISD says it is investigating, and that those found to have made any racial comment at the game will be disciplined.
New information this morning about the suspect charged with kidnapping a Tennessee jogger in the early morning hours of last Friday.
It turns out this is not the first time the suspect has been charged with kidnapping. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has a story.
This morning, police say the man accused of kidnapping kindergarten teacher Eliza Fletcher is refusing to say where she is.
She's just a beautiful person, and it's just awful to see the evil that's in the world.
The 34-year-old, who's also the apparent heiress to a billion-dollar company, was last seen jogging near the University of Memphis at 4 a.m. Friday. According to investigators, surveillance video shows a man getting out of an SUV, then running aggressively toward Fletcher. She was then forced into the passenger side. Authorities named Cleotha Abston a person of interest after identifying the SUV's license plate and obtaining DNA from sandals found at the scene. He's now charged with aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. According to ABC station WATN, Abston served a 20-year prison sentence in another kidnapping case dating back to 2000 when he pleaded guilty to abducting a local attorney. The victim in that case told a Memphis newspaper Abston approached him at gunpoint at 2 a.m., forcing him into the trunk of a car. The attorney says he was able to escape when Abston tried to force him to get cash from an ATM. This morning, there's no sign of Eliza Fletcher, who is the granddaughter of a prominent Tennessee businessman who founded a $3.2 billion private hardware company. Fletcher's husband was seen wiping away tears as a family spokesperson pleaded for her safe return.
More than anything, we want to see Eliza returned home safely.
Police say a witness saw Abston cleaning his clothes and the interior of his SUV after Fletcher's abduction. He's due in court tomorrow. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
President Joe Biden back on the campaign trail this Labor Day, making his third visit to Pennsylvania in the last week. This as former President Donald Trump went on the defense as it relates to Biden during a speech on Saturday when he called the president an enemy of the state. Representatives for Trump say the comment stems from Biden's speech on Thursday when he said Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. According to a new poll released, 6 in 10 Americans believe politicization of election rules is a major problem with the U.S. election and voting system.
At least 10 people are dead and at least 15 are injured during a stabbing spree in Canada yesterday. Police say they've identified 13 crime scenes in the province of Saskatchewan. 2 suspects are still on the loose. Emergency alerts have been going out in Canada after a stabbing spree in that province. A manhunt was underway overnight for 2 suspects. Authorities believe at some point they were traveling in a black Nissan Rogue with a license plate of that province.
A typhoon set to gain strength and make landfall at the Korean Peninsula and Japan's southern islands. It's expected to happen today. The storm has been lashing parts of mainland China, Taiwan, Japan, and the Koreas with heavy rain and strong winds. Officials in parts of Japan and China have canceled dozens of flights and closed schools because of the storm.
It's 436 and 73 degrees.
UTSA almost able to get the win against Houston in their season opener. What players and Coach Traylor are saying about the just almost win. We'll call it an almost win. Not a loss.
Heartbreaking. All right, taking a look outside on the roads. Whoa! Camera's getting up early. It's still waking up on this Labor Day. Not a lot of people out there. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Labor Day. Any incidents that pop up, we'll let you know about them. Taking a look outside with live cam, Mike Osterhage says there might be some rain, but nothing too much to worry about. He'll explain when we come back. Working on healing and finding hope for the Uvalde community as the district gets ready to start the new school year. I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, hear from counselors at the Resiliency Center and how they're helping families get ready to return to the classroom.
Over 37,000 packed the Alamo Dome to see the Conference USA Championship banner raised this weekend before the UTSA Roadrunners hosted number 24 Houston. It has now become a rivalry game. The Roadrunners took the lead 21-7 thanks to quarterback Frank Harris, who connected with 6 different receivers, including a 51-yard catch and run by Joshua Cephas. The Cougars put on a comeback in the fourth quarter. Game went to 3 overtimes. Down 2, the Roadrunners have a chance to go for the 2 and the tie and get the win if they can get this pass completed, but they couldn't do it. They hand the Roadrunners their first season, the Cougars do, opening loss since 2018, 37-35.
I thought we outplayed them, and that's on the head coach, right? Our kids gave an unbelievable effort. We made some critical mistakes in some critical times, and that's on me. And couldn't be more proud of them.
Coach Shutter wanted us to keep our head up. You know, he takes the blame, but I definitely take the blame myself. That last play, I forgot to send him in motion, so I definitely, it's hard on me right now. We got to just come out there, you know, tomorrow, learn from everything, good, bad, and get ready for next week.
I think we're going to respond well. Kind of like what Frank said, we're going to have to go back tomorrow, look at the things that we need to fix and get ready for a great opponent in the Army. But I feel like we played a great game overall, and I'm proud of the way we played.
Yeah, he mentioned Army right here. The Roadrunners don't have it easy. They now travel to West Point to take on Army 11 a.m. this Saturday. Texas Longhorns were able to wipe out Louisiana Monroe in their season opener in Austin on Saturday, with Quinn Ewers making his debut as their new starting quarterback. Tight end Jatavian Sanders caught 6 of his passes, 85 yards. First quarter touchdown. The Horns relied heavily on their ground game, anchored by Heisman Trophy candidate Bijan Robinson, who had 111 yards on 13 carries, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. The Horns win big 52-10. The Fighting Texas Aggies kicked off their season with a win over Sam Houston, even though it took a little longer since there was a 3-hour lightning delay before the game could finish. It started off great as Haynes King, who begins the season as the Aggie starting quarterback again, gets the maroon and white into the end zone, 66-yard touchdown. He's able to follow that up with another spectacular 63-yard touchdown to Aniyah Smith. And that's when the lightning struck, delaying the game. When it resumed, King added his third touchdown of the day with a 43-yard pass. Aggies 31-0 rout of Sam Houston. Next up, the Aggies host Appalachian State in a 2:30 kick at Kyle Field.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
In less than a week, we will finally know how the Cowboys and Texans do with their first test of the regular season. So many questions need to be answered for both teams. It all starts for Houston by hosting a division rival, while the Cowboys get the primetime spotlight at home. And here's the way it looks. It's the Colts and the Texans. That's at noon at NRG Stadium, and then the Cowboys wrap up the night by hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, 7:20 AT&T Stadium Sunday nights. San Antonio FC put together their best performance in nearly a month at a 2-0 road victory over Oakland Roots SC Saturday night. Samuel Ederan scored both goals in the win. It's the club's 12th road victory this season, tied for the second most in USL history. Next up, the team takes on San Diego Loyal SC Saturday, 7:30 at Toyota Field. Back to Quinn Ewers, the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah.
He tweeted out at some point during the game, his car got towed.
No.
The kid's out there throwing touchdowns, lead the Longhorns to victory, comes out and his car's gone. Like, my car got towed.
I bet you campus police. Yeah.
Somebody might want to point out where he can park without getting towed.
Right.
He is the starting quarterback of Texas Longhorns, and he did park at the
No
stadium.
special treatment there.
Apparently not.
All right, it's 4:44 and 72 degrees.
Even though the cost of travel is up, we'll tell you how many Americans are still expected to hit the road and the skies as Labor Day weekend continues.
This morning, airports packed with travelers for the Labor Day holiday, with numbers reaching pre-pandemic levels. ABC's Trevor Alt has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, holiday travel crush.
This is the busiest I've seen it.
Passengers pouring into America's airports for the last major travel holiday of the summer.
This feels really good to be able to travel again. It seems like the world is coming together slowly.
This has been one of the busiest weekends travelers have endured in the past 3 years. TSA screening over 6 million people since Friday alone, more than even pre-pandemic in 2019. There have been some hiccups and slowdowns. More than 2,800 flights were delayed yesterday.
Vacationers taking those trips again that folks didn't feel comfortable doing over the past couple of years, but are now making up for and trying to account for that lost time.
And we'll have much more on what you need to know if you're traveling this Labor Day coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Unfortunately, there were some delays and some cancellations at airports across the country. Doesn't look like there's any delays on the road, though. Look at that. Pretty clear. Had some accidents this morning. Even 281 up there around 1604 was shut down because of an accident, but hopefully they get all that cleared up. So pay attention if you're getting out on the roads this morning. And who is? So it's like 4:30. Why would you want to be on the road?
You were.
Well, I was. I was
You
lonely.
were.
It was a good thing.
Okay, Mike, you have a pretty, is it a sunset behind you?
Sunset.
Nice.
Because it says night-night.
Night-night.
Yeah. Cloudy day yesterday. We stayed only in the mid-80s. No complaints there, but the humidity was quite high. Should be a little bit lower later on this afternoon, so slightly more comfortable, and it is going to be kind of a summery, unofficial end of summer sort of a day. We've got some clouds out there, which is actually going to help as far as any visibility or any fog is concerned. Now, down around Pleasanton as well as Uvalde, the visibility has dropped down, and even more fog further on out to the west beyond Uvalde. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. Temperatures, we've got some clouds, but we will be dropping down a few more notches. We're at 73 right now. We'll bottom out at 71 degrees and then start to see more sunshine throughout the morning. It's going to warm up fairly quickly. And like I said, the humidity should drop down enough. Now, we will have just a 20% chance for a stray shower or two. That's about it. 20, maybe 30 out there, but not a great shot at rain today. Just one or two little spots trying to pop up here and there. And like I was talking about, unlike yesterday where the humidity stayed fairly high, it will drop down somewhat. We'll still have a bit, I mean, it's going to be a noticeable 93 degrees. We'll put it that way. It's not going to be bone dry out there, but at least the humidity will drop somewhat to make it more tolerable if you are outside enjoying the pool or just enjoying this last weekend of summer unofficially. So here's the computer model later on today. And again, a lot of sunshine out there. 1, 2, 3, 4 little spots of rain are trying to pop up by the dinner time, early evening hours, and still, a decent downpour. This particular model obviously has that there on the west side of town. We'll just kind of have sort of a wait and see type situation as far as what transpires with that. But again, it's just going to be a couple of them out there. Once again, a check of the tropics. There is, Hurricane Danielle heading off into the North Atlantic, and there is Tropical Storm Earl, which also is just kind of moving, say, in toward Bermuda. And we finished up the month of August, no name storms, and that was somewhat of an anomaly for the last 60 years. It was only, I believe, the third time there were no name storms in the month of August at all in the Atlantic Basin. 85 degrees, by the way. The peak of the hurricane season comes on the 10th of September, but, well, there's another little wave coming off Africa, but not a big deal out there in the Atlantic as of right now. 85 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies, and their high temperature is going to make it up to 93 today. That's the normal high. A shower or two out there, just 1 or 2 of them, not really that big of a deal. Still a mention of a shower tomorrow, and then we go into Wednesday, maybe a little bit better chance to see a shower or two, but look at those high temperatures. Going to be on the warm side. We're going to be up in the upper 90s. Humidity should be okay in the afternoon, but it's going to be hot and it's going to be sunny. By the way, once again, today is a rather infamous anniversary.
And what is that? The
hottest day ever in San Antonio, ever recorded, I should say, 111 back in 2000. Remember that day? Yep.
I'm just happy that's not today.
Can't agree with you anymore.
I went on an evening walk yesterday, or not evening, like 4 or 5. It's just nice to be able to be outside in low 90s.
Well,
just
plus,
feels cool now.
When you walk outside, like I said, 86 yesterday, and it just doesn't, doesn't feel like you're sticking your head in the oven.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
It's an interesting visual.
Right.
Yeah, it literally just got Mike going.
But that's what it felt like most of the summer, didn't it?
Theaters across the country offer $3 movie tickets this weekend. We'll tell you if the help lure people in, plus how former President Obama won an Emmy Award.
Take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 275, Fireball 3, Daily 4, 0668, Fireball 6.
Cash 5 is 7, 16, 25, 30, 34. Lotto Texas 4, 24, 25, 33, 34, and 50. And Powerball 18, 27, 49, 65, 69. Powerball's 9. Power Play is 2. Good luck. We'll be back. Welcome back, 455. $3 movies didn't really get people to go back to the box office this weekend. They were cheap and nobody went.
Yeah, I mean, if you can watch them from home. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
$3 movie tickets? Who cares? That apparently was the reaction of National Cinema Day based on the Labor Day weekend box office returns.
There has to be another way. There isn't.
The re-release of Spider-Man No Way Home with 11 minutes of new footage topped all comers with a projected $7.6 million through Monday, with Top Gun Maverick close on its tail. But that $3 deal wasn't enough to dispel an otherwise dismal final weekend of the summer movie season. Former President Obama added an Emmy to his 2 Grammys over the weekend for narrating a Netflix documentary about national parks.
None of us has had the idea of what the show's going to be.
The Disney Plus Beatles documentary Get Back won 5 trophies, including Outstanding Documentary on night 1 of the 2-night Creative Arts Emmys, awarded mostly for off-camera work. Disney's the parent company of ABC News. And Michael Keaton turned 71 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Batman's getting older.
Batman. Sorry, I had to do it.
It's 456 and 72 degrees.
All right, as both President Biden and former President Trump are back on the campaign trail, what a new poll is revealing about what voters think when it comes to voter fraud.
And as we start the school year, it begins tomorrow in Uvalde. Why? For some, this is reminiscent of 52 years ago when students walked out demanding an end to racism.
And on cue, Stephen Cavazos just walked in the studio. Now, earlier I knew we had some incidents on the roadways. Those possibly have cleared up, but he'll let you know when we come back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A man is dead following a shooting overnight. How deputies say the shooter got away.
President Biden back to Pennsylvania today. I'm ABC's Jay O'Brien in Washington. This after his primetime speech last week and what the former president said in the Keystone State. Coming up.
72 degrees at 5 a.m. Another muggy morning. Mike will let us know, can we see any rain on this Labor Day? He'll let us know in just a bit.
And good morning. It is Monday, September 5th. It is Labor Day. Some laboring, some just enjoying the day off.
Yeah, hopefully you're up early watching us and you're not laboring and you're in your stretchy pants and pumpkin spice latte. Yeah. Or maybe you're up early smoking a brisket. But we do want to remind you that oh my gosh. Okay, we do want to remind you that City Hall and most municipal offices are closed. However, public safety and emergency services are open.
Trash and recycling will be collected tomorrow. So don't put it out there today because they're not coming. So you'll just mess up the street with all your trash. Nobody wants to see that.
No one wants to see that.
On Labor Day. So, all right, Mike.
Is it, okay, so people who are maybe up early smoking the brisket for...
Bring some.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you wanted to ask what the weather's going to be. I was thinking about the food. So, odds are in your favor. There'll be 1 or 2 showers out there. You know, just keep your umbrella handy. We've had it handy for the past, week and a half, couple of weeks around here with some of this rain. But most of us are not going to be seeing anything. It is going to be on the warm side. Yesterday was a nice little treat. All those clouds hung on in there, and we only got up to 86 officially out there at the airport after starting off at 73. Same thing where we are right now. That dew point is down to 70. So just compared to yesterday morning and especially compared to Saturday morning, it's slightly more comfortable out there. We are going to have a high temperature today up to 93. That's the normal high this time of year, so it is going to be warmer than yesterday, and we'll have a lot more sunshine out there. The aquifer, boy, big jump, went up 2 feet, and that was fantastic news. And as far as the allergens, molds on the high side, fall elm is low. Now, this morning, with some of the moisture in the air as well as in the ground, we have got some visibility issues. Some fog is trying to form up around the area. As a matter of fact, Gonzales and Uvalde have both dropped down to just 3/4 of a mile in visibility, 7 miles there at Pleasanton, 9 at Port SA. So just kind of watch it as far as some of that fog this morning, because like I said, some of the moisture in the ground, we've got some clear skies overnight, and that's allowed temperatures to drop down. So some of that patchy fog around here, otherwise partly cloudy skies, sort of a mixture of sunshine and clouds, a lot more sunshine than yesterday. So it is going to be, like I said, on the hot side, a shower or 2. I wouldn't get real excited about rain chances. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and then Wednesday, maybe a shower or 2. But the big thing is actually starting tomorrow, it's going to be hot, mid-90s all the way then through the rest of the week and going into the upcoming weekend. Details just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, good morning, Stephen. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, Mike. Welcome back. Well, unfortunately, it is Labor Day, but the roads were very busy this morning. Let's get a quick look around town. 281 there at North Loop 1604. David was mentioning we did have a crash out there a little bit earlier that actually shut down a portion of the highway. That is already cleared out, so that's the good news. And there at 281 at Hildebrand, there's really not a lot to show you, just some quiet areas around town. US 90 at Leon Creek. But as I mentioned, there were several crashes that were reported overnight, and thankfully those have cleared out. But one of the big ones was actually right over here near the west side of Bexar County, where we did have a crash of US 90 westbound at Loop 410. Now, this crash actually was reported, unfortunately, as a deadly crash, but we are working to get that information, and of course, we'll bring you those details here on GMSA. But for now, it's not impacting traffic anymore because first responders were able to clear that out. Let's take a look at those travel times. If your destination is the Alamo City, if you're getting up early right now, it's a perfect time to get out on the roadways. I-10 eastbound, the journey from Bernie, 25 minutes at this hour. Seeing somewhat of a slowdown on 281. We're seeing some yellow there in the southbound lanes coming in from Bulverde with 28 minutes at this point and 26 minutes on I-35 southbound heading in from New Braunfels. I wouldn't say that these are concerning numbers. They're looking pretty good right now and pretty normal actually. But as we take it back to TransGuide, we're hoping that it stays quiet throughout the morning. We're going to have updates on road closures. Yep, there's still some taking place. That'll be coming up in the next few minutes. David, Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office says one person is dead following a shooting overnight. It happened around 11:30 last night in the 6500 block of Beach Trail that's in Converse. BCSO says a man was found shot and killed in the front of his home. Deputies say they found several casings from 2 different weapons. BCSO says the suspects got away in a silver sedan and say, as of right now, no word on any arrests.
Well, as students in Uvalde look to start the new school year, some families are looking to the past at Uvalde's 1970 walkout. For 6 weeks, up to 650 students walked out of their classrooms demanding an end to racism. George Garza was one of the few Mexican-American teachers at Robb Elementary, and he was fired by the principal. Students at UCSISD wouldn't stand for it, so they looked for guidance in organizing a walkout. One of those students, the only living non-student organizer of the walkout, helped provide that guidance.
The students started, coming out of the classrooms, and they walked out of the schoolyard and up to the sidewalk, and then the other schools followed.
Well, most students were held back as punishment. Seniors didn't get their diplomas, but Castillo says it was seen as a victory. This was a pivotal moment where students and their families stood up against racism and fought for what's right, something familiar to the Uvalde community today.
The leadership back then was garbage, and look what happened. The leadership is still garbage now, and look what happened.
Castillo says he's proud of the walkout they did in the 70s, but believes the young people now can do an even better job and create more permanent and meaningful change for the current and next generation.
And a reminder, tomorrow marks the first day of school for Uvalde CISD, and we want to hear your messages of hope for that community. Right now on KSAT.com, you can share your thoughts for the new school year. And be sure to tune in tomorrow morning. Sarah Costa and Mark Austin will have team coverage live from Uvalde all morning on GMSA. And you may share your responses during our newscast. And all you have to do that is look for this story on our homepage. President Joe Biden will hit the road again this Labor Day, holding events in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. It comes as the battle for control of Congress in the upcoming midterm elections is heating up.
This will be the president's 3rd trip to Pennsylvania in recent day, a key battleground state. As ABC's Jay O'Brien reports, former President Donald Trump was also in that state this weekend, holding his first rally since the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago.
President Biden hitting the road again this Labor Day, celebrating American workers at events in 2 closely watched midterm states, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. This will mark Biden's 3rd trip to the Keystone State in less than a week, most recently in Philadelphia, delivering a stinging rebuke of so-called MAGA Republicans, mentioning his predecessor by name.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
The president trying to frame the upcoming midterm elections with control of the House and possibly Senate on the line as a battle to protect democracy. Republicans calling his remarks divisive.
It basically condemned all Republicans who supported Donald Trump in the last election. That's over 70 million people. And, saying that Republicans are a threat to democracy is really a slap in the face.
The president clarifying Friday he wasn't condemning all Trump voters, just those standing by him now after the violence on January 6th and Trump's continued false claims the 2020 election was stolen. But that support on full display this weekend when former President Trump held his own event in Pennsylvania, a rally teasing possibly another presidential run in 2024.
So I may just have to do it again.
But first we have to win a historic victory for the Republican Party this November.
The former president was in Pennsylvania to campaign for Doug Mastriano, who's running for governor, and Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's running for Senate. But he spent a large portion of the rally, his first since the FBI seized classified documents from his Florida home, using that search to fire up his most passionate supporters. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
509, 72 degrees.
All right, Stephen Cavazos was just talking about this after a bunch of negative reviews for the Rings of Power, how Amazon is changing the way user reviews work for all of its content.
And we're going to tell you what happened next after 2 convenience store employees confronted a suspect outside their store.
72 degrees at 5:09. If you're going to be doing anything outside today, ladies, you're probably going to want to use some hairspray. It's muggy out there. Mike will also let us know if you have to cancel any outdoor plans because of rain. He'll tell us about that when we come back.
I'm Mark Austin in Uvalde, where classes are about to resume at Uvalde CISD. We will have live team coverage tomorrow on GMSA.
And welcome back. It is 5:13. San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need your help solving an aggravated robbery case.
Yeah, back on Thursday, August 26, SAPD says a 30-year-old man walked into the Stop and Joy store in the 1900 block of Rigsby Avenue and tried to leave without paying for items. So 2 employees then followed the suspect outside. That's when police say the suspect pulled a gun out of his vehicle and fired several shots at the employees before getting away. If you have any information on this, take a look at your screen. You can call that Crime Stoppers number 210-224-STOP. You may remain anonymous and can get a cash reward for some information that you provide.
Once again, it's now 14 minutes after 5 o'clock. It's 5:14, 72 degrees, a little humid, but it'll be all right.
We'll survive. All right, Apple is getting ready to reveal the 2nd generation of Airpods Pro. We'll tell you when.
And what Amazon is doing to fight back against negative reviews on Prime Video.
You go by lots of titles. Veteran, son, dad.
It's time to get up.
No. Hairstylist and cheerleader. So adding a student title might feel overwhelming. But what if a school could be there for all of you?
Good to see you.
Career, family, finances, and mental health.
It's coming along.
Well, it can. National University, supporting the whole you.
Look at these mighty Quaker Oats. Heart healthy, a good source of fiber, and for only cents per day. There's no denying Quaker Oats are the grain of all time. Quaker Oats, a super trusted superfood.
New Astapro Allergy, now available without a prescription. Astapro is the first and only 24-hour storage-free spray. While other allergy sprays take hours, Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. So you can Astapro and go.
Amazon putting a delay on reviews for all of its content on Prime Video. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon is suspending reviews of its new Lord of the Rings series on Rotten Tomatoes. It says the 72-hour hold is to make sure the reviews for Rings of Power are legit and prevent internet trolls from bringing down their score. The series is Prime Video's biggest premiere ever. Expect Apple to reveal the next generation of AirPods Pro this week. Wednesday's Far Out event will reportedly see the debut of AirPods Pro 2. Apple is also expected to reveal the new iPhone 14 and 3 new watches, including one designed for athletes in extreme sports. And former President Barack Obama has earned an Emmy Award, joining Dwight D. Eisenhower as the only 2 presidents to win an Emmy. Obama won the prize for narrating the Netflix documentary Our Great National Parks, which was produced by the company he created with Michelle Obama. I guess the trophy will be the newest addition to the president's cabinet. Those are your Tech Bites.
Oh, Andrew Dimbert and his puns. Okay. Hey, Stephen, I know we had some incidents earlier on the road, but have those since cleared up?
Yeah, that's good news, Sarah. We don't have any issues out there at this point, but we did have a major issue there at US 90 at 410. We had a deadly crash, unfortunately, that was reported earlier in the morning, sometime after 2:30. Now, that obviously led to some closures out there, but we did just see that shot at TransGuide. First responders were able to clear it out. But just as a reminder, a lot of folks still travel through the holidays, so make sure you're driving carefully out there. Watch for the first responders and flashing lights anytime you see them out there on the highway. But let's give you a quick look around town because 37 at Hackberry really doesn't show anybody out there. Hildebrand there, again, same situation, just a lot of quiet roads this morning as people are getting their day started. Some people do have to head to work like us, but thankfully nothing major is going to slow you down at this point. However, be on the lookout throughout the month of September. Several closures still taking place. This one off US 87, and actually, pardon me, this should not say US 87. This should say I-35 in Frio County. I'll get that corrected in just a bit, but we're going to see pavement data collection now. I had to actually Google what that was. That's That's basically crews going out there to assess the pavement to find out what maintenance it needs or any updates. But this will actually start on September 8th, and it should wrap on Friday, September 9th. And again, this is out off I-35 in Frio County. You will see them moving operations from US 57 to the Frio/Medina County line. But that information is on our website. I just updated it a few minutes ago. Grab those phones, open your camera app, tap the center of the screen. That will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and you can scroll to the bottom and find a list of all the closures happening in and around the Alamo City, guys.
Pavement data collection.
Right. I had to Google that one, David Sears. Yeah.
We're counting potholes.
In simple terms, they're just assessing the roads.
Yeah.
What consultant came up with that?
Yeah. Well, because they don't want to say the word pothole anymore.
Right.
So they got it.
You said it, pothole.
Yeah. Counting potholes and how many cracks are in the curbs and, you know.
Pothole. So I'm going to keep saying that throughout the morning. All right, Mike, you have another beautiful sunset behind you.
Let's come up with different sunset. Instead of pavement data. Anyway, I was thinking of a consultant phrase for that. Anyway,
sunset.
Beautiful. And a birthday sunset. I guess that is Mark's, birthday. Happy birthday yesterday. Yeah, not the greatest sunset in most spots yesterday, just because we did have a lot of clouds hanging around here. And you can see a few of them in this shot, but in a lot of spots, we don't have much in the way of clouds. And that is allowing the temperatures to drop down, hit just about at the dew point. And so what that's leading to is a lot of fog. So I know Uvalde school is just getting underway today, started the school year, and watch it with some of the fog in and around Uvalde. Same thing around Gonzales, and then down in portions of Karnes County, some fairly thick fog. Pleasanton at 2.5 miles as of right now. So just watch out for this very patchy fog. Now, dew point temperatures, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere basically, are actually down somewhat compared to this time yesterday. Down 2 degrees here in 10. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it makes a whole lot of difference. You know, Saturday, it was just steam bath out there yesterday. It was low 70s. We're right on 70 right now for a dew point. So it is, it's humid, but a little more comfortable. So we'll keep a mixture of clouds around this morning, some patchy fog here and there. We'll bottom out at 71 degrees, and then we're going to start to see more sunshine, already get up to 85 today at noon. And then we start to see the rain chances come into the picture. Just 1 or 2 stray showers out there. It's not going to be a big deal. If you got outdoor plans, going to the pool, something like that, cooking out in the backyard, it's going to be fine. 93 for a high temperature. A little bit of a heat index, although the humidity will be dropping down more so it looks like later on this afternoon. So heat index won't just be way out the charts. We'll be in low to mid 90s around here. And again, here's this computer model, the rapid update model. And it's got 1 or 2 showers trying to pop up late this afternoon or into the early evening hours around dinner time. Again, going to count them on one hand, very few and far between. So not a big deal as far as rain is concerned. Lesser rain chances the next couple of days, and then pretty much nothing as far as any shot at rain by the latter part of the week. 85 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies, and high temperature, again, 93. Normal high, right where it should be for a 5th of September. And tomorrow we start to warm up a little bit more. A stray shower, 1 or 2 of them on Wednesday, and already up to 95 on Wednesday. A lot of sunshine. We will see some lower humidity in the afternoon, so it'll be slightly more comfortable. But again, that allows temperatures to heat up. So it's back up about 3, close to 4 degrees above normal, mid 90s all the way through next weekend.
So last month we're in the 80s, and this month we're in the 90s. This is all backwards. Something's wrong.
It ain't 100 though, so I'll take that.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
And don't worry about your potato salad getting wet today. You'll be all right.
Ooh, potato salad, that sounds good.
Doesn't that sound good?
So good.
A little brisket, potato salad.
Ooh.
Baked beans.
Ooh. Corn on the cob.
Corn.
Corn on the cob.
All right.
524, 72 degrees.
Butter, salt, and pepper.
Our mouth is watering.
Oh my gosh. All right, up next in your morning spotlight, why The Weeknd had to abruptly cancel a show, plus the illness that caused Megadeth to delay a new album for 6 years.
Welcome back, 526. The Weeknd had a bad weekend, and Megadeth releases new music.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
And Tilda. We heard you weren't well.
You think the sight of you two is going to cheer me up? Are you dim?
Here's your first look at The Estate, about greedy relatives trying to win over their cantankerous, terminally ill aunt so she'll make them her beneficiaries. Toni Collette, Anna Faris, and Kathleen Turner star in the comedy, which arrives in theaters November 4th. A bad weekend for The Weeknd. The singer was performing his hit Can't Feel My Face in Los Angeles Saturday night when he stopped and walked off the stage. Later, he tweeted an explanation. "My voice went out during the first song and I'm devastated. My deepest apologies to my fans here. I promise I'll make it up to you with a new date." The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead is Megadeth's first new album in 6 years. In the interim, frontman Dave Mustaine says he was dealing with the pandemic and throat cancer.
A lot of people thought that was the end of Dave Mustaine. I know me a little better than most people do.
The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead is out now. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, it's 5:28 and 72 degrees.
The search is on for two suspects wanted in a deadly stabbing spree in Canada. What authorities are saying about a correlation between the two victims.
From homeless to hero, coming up on GMSA, Front and Center brings you a story of a veteran who is doing great things despite the odds being stacked against her. You won't want to miss this incredible story.
At least 10 people are dead after a mass stabbing spree in Canada. What police are saying about the 13 different crime scenes.
72 degrees at 5:31 this morning. Will we see rain on this Labor Day? Mike will let us know in just a bit. Good morning. It is Labor Day, September 5th.
Labor Day, September 5th. We've made it to September. And what's interesting to me is it's like hotter in September than it was in August. I hadn't figured that out yet. Something flipped somewhere.
Yeah.
Remember in August it was like in the 80s, low 90s, and now it's back to the mid 90s.
And July was just.
Well, yeah.
But we got some rain, though.
The first week of August started off very hot. We had few 100-degree days, 103s, a couple of days there. And then, yes, we finally got a break. Things were trying to balance out a little bit with some of that rain, and now it is starting to heat up again. Once again, today is that infamous anniversary, 111 back in 2000. Who remembers that? 22 years ago. Just blisteringly hot. Anyway, 73 degrees right now, dew points at 70. So yes, we do have some humidity out there. It's not quite as high as yesterday. It's a little bit more comfortable, and we do have a lot of fog. We haven't been dealing with this too much at all this summer, but over at Uvalde, it's down to just a quarter-mile visibility, 2.5 miles down the road at Pleasanton. Gonzales does have some fog that's come up a little bit, and then also heading down towards Karnes County. So I know Uvalde schools are starting school year, so just kind of allow yourself a little extra time as you're heading off to school with some of that thicker fog there in Uvalde. 73 right now, same thing, Hondo, Divine, mid upper 60s in parts of the hill country. And as far as the allergens, we do have mold on the high side, fall elm low. The updated count's going to come out in a couple of hours, 85 at noon and 93 high temperature later on today. Couple of showers out there. I wouldn't change any sort of outdoor plans. There'll be one or two of them, even fewer than what we had around here yesterday. Still one or two showers as we go on into tomorrow, Wednesday. But overall, we are going to start to heat up as we go into the mid and latter part of the week, even the weekend. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen, I know there were a couple of big problems earlier this morning. That's all
gone, Mike. Thankfully, the roads are going to be clear for anyone that has to wake up early, get the day started, and head to their destination. Let's get a quick look around town. There is 35 at Cesar Chavez, 281 north at 1604. We know that was one of the trouble spots earlier in the morning where the highway was actually shut down. But you could saw right there, things have cleared out, and 281 at Hildebrand. It's almost the same shots that we've been showing you throughout the last half hour or so there here on GMSA. Really not a lot of traffic out there this early in the morning, and with Labor Day being here, maybe more folks are staying at home. But nonetheless, just drive safe this morning because it is still can be pretty busy out there. Giving you a wide look at the map, there's nothing really to show you. We are seeing a little bit of a slowdown there along 281 just north of 1604 there. Make sure to watch out for crews. We know that there's a lot of work that tends to take place out there. But But let's take it to the travel times because the destination is really not going to be hindered by anything just yet. I-10 heading in those westbound lanes still pretty green from Seguin with 30 minutes at this hour, about 33 minutes if you're heading on 87 northbound traveling in from Lavernia, and it's only a 29-minute drive time for our friends down in Flotusville. So no need to rush out the door if your destination is going to be San Antonio. But as we get one last look at the roads here in town, things are quiet. Again, as they say quiet, we'll bring you those updates on road closures in the next few minutes. David, Sarah.
Thank you, Stephen. This morning, at least 10 people are dead and at least 15 injured after a stabbing spree in Canada.
CNN's Amy Kiley reports on the search for 2 suspects.
Do not approach suspicious persons. Do not pick up hitchhikers.
Emergency alerts have been going out in Canada after a stabbing spree in the province of Saskatchewan.
It is certainly a very significant event. If not the largest, certainly the largest we've seen in the last number of years.
Police say they've identified at least 13 crime scenes. They're in the communities of the James Smith Cree Nation and Weldon. A manhunt has been underway overnight for these 2 suspects, 31-year-old Damian Sanderson and 30-year-old Miles Sanderson. Authorities believe at some point they were traveling in a black Nissan Rogue with a Saskatchewan license plate. The search and community alerts have been extending from that province into neighboring Alberta and Manitoba.
It appears that some of the victims may have been targeted and some may be random.
Police say they're also looking for a possible motive and more information in the digital sphere.
Social media brings us lots of information and brings us lots of challenges.
Condolences are pouring in for the victims and their families.
Thank you for any information that you provide to police because that is so valuable. Stay safe, Saskatchewan.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Residents in Jackson, Mississippi in dire need of some clean drinking water. Right now, FEMA is providing temporary measures to help increase the water pressure there. All this happening after a chemical imbalance was found at a treatment plant when heavy rain and flooding pushed the Pearl River to dangerous levels. The city has been under a boil water advisory since the end of July. Most people are being forced to either buy water or rely on bottled water pickup sites. The city's mayor believes they will have safe drinking water again within just a matter of days.
The U.S. ambassador to Russia is retiring Sunday. The embassy announced John Sullivan left his position as a top American diplomat in Moscow. He's served in the role for nearly 3 years. Sullivan worked in public service for 4 decades, serving under 5 presidents. Elizabeth Rood will assume his duties until President Biden nominates his replacement.
The pandemic resulted in a major shift in how millions of Americans eat. And while it may be good news for snack sellers, not good for your health, the U.S. snack market grew from about $117 billion in 2017 to an estimated $151 billion this year. That's thanks in higher sales of chips, snack bars, candy. It has become a global trend as well, where 64% of consumers say they prefer to eat smaller meals, replacing at least one meal with snacks. While snacking can occur any time of the day, during the pandemic, more people started eating more late-night snacks. Health experts say it's possible to eat healthy snacks, but they remind consumers that ultra-processed foods have been linked to cancer and early death. So lay off the Cheez-Its? Is that what they're saying?
I want
Too
to
late?
say that I've kind of become part of this trend. I've been eating chips instead of like nachos or like chips and salsa every night for dinner instead of an actual meal.
The problem is the bags are smaller now. 538, 72 degrees. You don't get as much for your money.
Well, you have 2 bags.
Yeah.
All right. The price of Sam's Club membership, oh no, it's going up. What the company says it's doing to ease the pain of the price increase.
And September is World Alzheimer's Month. For those who haven't cared for someone with the disease, why health experts say it can be hard to know what signs to look for.
Will we see rain today on this Labor Day? I know a lot of people are going to be outside enjoying their day off, maybe barbecuing or at the pool. Mike will have that forecast for you when we come back. Working on healing and finding hope for the Uvalde community as the district gets ready to start the new school year. I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, we'll be live here in Uvalde for the first day of school.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, and according to the CDC, more than 6 million Americans are living with the disease.
Here's ABC's Rena Rory with how to spot the warning signs.
As we get older, we may forget a few things here and there, but some signs of memory loss could mean something more serious, like the onset of Alzheimer's disease.
I think the biggest misconception when it comes to Alzheimer's disease is that a lot of the signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's are part of normal aging.
And unless you've cared for someone with Alzheimer's, it can be hard to know what to look out for. ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton has some tips to spot the onset of the disease.
This is where the context is important, the severity, the frequency, the magnitude of the memory loss, all significant.
For example, Dr. Ashton says that randomly forgetting someone's name or an appointment is normal forgetfulness, but being unable to recall the name of your child, parent, or spouse, consistently forgetting appointments, and failing to keep track of time are concerning signs. She says the symptoms of Alzheimer's interfere with a person's daily living, whereas the normal aging process usually does not. When tasks like going to the store for a loaf of bread present a challenge, that should be a red flag.
They never get there. They get lost. They forget why they went out. They come back without the loaf of bread.
If you have any concerns, Dr. Ashton says to trust your gut and make an appointment for a formal medical evaluation.
It should never be anyone's job to be their own doctor. If you are concerned about some of your signs or symptoms or those of someone that you care about, have a neurologist, a medical professional evaluate that person so that you don't have to ask yourself, is this normal or is it not normal?
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
543, 72 degrees.
The need for culinary experts has never been higher. We'll tell you why the need for chefs is so high and the changes about getting in to culinary school. In your morning consumer headlines, the price of a Sam's Club membership, it's increasing for the first time in 9 years. So the news came in a letter from Sam's Club CEO who says entry-level club members will see a jump from $45 to $50 a year. So $5. Premium members will pay $110 or an extra $10 per year, which gets them extended shopping hours and other perks. But to ease the pain of the price increase, parent company Walmart says they will give back the difference in Sam's cash for the first year. The price change is effective October 17th. Warehouse retail competitor Costco, their last hike for membership happened in 2017 and does not have any plans to do so this year.
As the restaurant industry tries to recover from the pandemic, it's facing a new crisis, a staff shortage in the kitchen. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, the need for chefs and head cooks is far outpacing the number of students interested in those careers. The Bureau projects the need for head cooks and chefs will rise 25% by 2030, for faster than the 8% growth rate for other occupations. America's most prestigious school for chefs, the Culinary Institute of America, now accepts 97% of all applications. That compares to back in 2001 when they were more selective. They only accepted 36% of applicants.
I have a feeling that's because everyone who is an influencer now, they, instead of going to school, they just cook in their kitchen and put videos on Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, but are they as good as those who actually go to the school and learn how to be a detailed?
So it might look pretty on
chef.
camera, but it probably doesn't taste as good, Stephen Cavasso.
Listen, I mean, I'm one of those people. I like to show the process of cooking, but I am not an influencer, so.
Oh, come on.
No, not at all. Not by any stretch.
With those glasses and that suit?
Oh, geez, Sarah Costa, thank you very much. Well, maybe I'll think differently by the end of the show, but right now we're keeping our focus on the roads, and thankfully nothing major to talk about there. 281 at North Loop 1604. That's an area where we did have a pretty serious crash that shut down a portion of the highway. It's cleared out now, and you can see it's the same shots that we've been showing you for the last hour or so now. 281 at Hildebrand, one or two folks out there, but it's Labor Day weekend, so we know some folks are still at home enjoying their cup of coffee, breakfast tacos, or hey, maybe they're even cooking in their kitchen. So just if you have to head out the door in the next few minutes, just be on the lookout for some work that's going to be done or that will continue around the Alamo City, especially later on in the week. We talk about I-10 over on the east side of Bexar County. Barrier work will continue on Friday, September 9th, and it's going to actually take place throughout the weekend. Should wrap up a portion of it at least on Monday, September 12th, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning is when you'll see a full closure of the westbound main lanes from File Road to Loop 1604. But that information has just been updated on our website, ksat.com/traffic. traffic. Right now, traffic here at 37 seems to be moving without any trouble. Looks like I just jinxed myself. That looks like a stalled vehicle, our Hero truck, out off I-10 at the Y. So you got to watch out for that.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
What a great day to enjoy the last official holiday of the summer, something like that. That's,
the unofficial end of summer.
I'm surprised you didn't wear your seersucker, Mike.
Oh, that would be
I know,
great.
I should.
Come
What does that mean? Tomorrow you can't wear white, right? Can't wear white after Labor Day, isn't that right?
Technically.
So that's what
Mike,
they say.
I'm sure. Are you like a hard follower of that rule? The white suit rule or the seersucker rule?
Seersucker, yeah. But then again, I mean, if it's, close to 100 here, does it really count anymore?
I don't think so.
Who knows?
You're going to have to put those white shoes away, though.
Technically, though, you can wear white bucks. Buck leather, not like, I guess. I've read that somewhere. Anyway, back to the beautiful, and I was looking at this picture and all of a sudden noticed right there is the big old water tower, the Poteet Strawberry Water Tower. Great evening. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Got some clouds here in town, which is actually kind of a good thing as far as holding off some of the fog, because we've had some clear skies over there in Uvalde, and that has allowed the temperatures the heat to kind of escape out into space. We got a lot of moisture in the ground, and that's leading to a lot of very thick fog. Quarter-mile visibility right now in Uvalde. Same thing down the road in Pleasanton. Not bad in and around town. Just a hint of reduced visibility there at Port SA. But we need to watch it over the next couple of hours, because a lot of times as we approach sunrise and just after that, this fog will get thicker. So keep that in mind. And of course, Uvalde in particular, going back to school day today. So watch it. Allow yourself a little extra time heading on out this morning. 74 degrees by 8 o'clock. We'll keep a couple of clouds here and there and some of that patchy fog, and then a lot more sunshine late morning. We get up to 85 at noon, and we're going to top off at 93 today. So it's going to be a whole lot different than yesterday. Yesterday we stayed at 86 thanks to the cloud cover, so 7 degrees warmer than that. That's a normal high temperature though, and got the rain graphic on there. 1 or 2 showers out there just to take into account, a 30% chance, but I wouldn't get really excited about anything. If you have outdoor plans today, go ahead with it. Not really a big deal at all, though going to be 1 or 2 of them out there. Here's what's going on right now. We've got this low up to the northeast of us and the high off there to the west. So somewhat, and you'd think with this low in place, that we would have a lot more in the way of rain. We do have little disturbances kind of sliding on in here, but that's been about it. Now, as we go on into this week, that low, even though it's still nearby, we're kind of on not the good side of it for getting any rain. That would be on the east side of it. So we're going to be sort of on the sinking side of this. Now, the one thing that sometimes happens with this northerly flow coming around a high like that in between these two, you get little disturbances slide on in here. There's nothing in the forecast as of right now, just sinking air and heating up. So we're going to be in the mid 90s as we go on into the latter part of the week and also going on into the weekend. So again, this thing is close, but it's not really doing us any good. And that high is going to continue to sort of move in there and take over and stay in place as we go on in through the weekend and even into the first part of next week. So just kind of sum it up overall, what that means is hotter temperatures, and as of right now, no rain chances after we get past Wednesday. 85 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature is going to make it up to 93. A shower or 2, 1 or 2 of them out there. That'll be about it. Even lesser chance tomorrow, Wednesday. 1 or 2 of them out there again. But most noticeably, temperatures will continue to heat up, getting up into the mid 90s. Plenty of sunshine all the way through the end of the week and the weekend. We should, though, get into more of the cycle of some lower humidity in the afternoon, so it won't be as miserably humid, but still, it's going to be a hot week.
I was getting used to those high 80s. I was getting spoiled.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
5:53, 72 degrees. We've been 72 degrees all morning. It's going to move anytime soon?
Probably not.
Okay.
All right, pick 3, 275, Fireball 3, Daily 4, 0668, Fireball 6.
Cash 5 is 7, 16, 25, 30, 34. Lotto Texas 4, 24, 25, 33, 34, 50. And Powerball 18, 27, 49, 65, 69. Powerball is 9. Power Play is 2. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up, an ABC News exclusive with Ukrainian President Zelensky sitting down with World News Tonight anchor David Muir with the latest on the counteroffensive and the nuclear plant in the crossfire. David is live in Kyiv this morning. And the extreme weather across the country, the flooding in the east, and dangerous heat and wildfires in the west. We are tracking it all. Plus, we'll have the latest on the Labor Day travel crush. With packed airports and numbers at pre-pandemic levels and thousands of flights canceled. And the last-minute back-to-school savings, where you can find the best deals from backpacks to footwear. That's coming up right here on GMA.
Also ahead in our next hour of GMSA, an action-packed sports weekend in the books, including that nail-biter in the Alamo Dome on Saturday. We've got the highlights for you coming up. And an important warning for you about skunks. What wildlife officials say you should do if you ever encounter one. And questions remain after a man was found dead outside a home on the northeast side of town. We will tell you everything you need to know so far. And as we take a look at the roads, you can see that's 410 and McCullough. There is an overturned vehicle right there on the shoulder. And you can see the Hero vehicles right there, and some emergency vehicles are also on their way. But once again, an overturned vehicle at 410 and McCullough. So watch it if you're headed out in that area. Stephen Cavazos will give us an update. Mike's got your forecast. We'll be right back.
This morning, San Antonio Crime Stoppers working on 2 cases that happened over the summer. Now they're asking for your help. We'll tell you what you need to know.
And have you seen the new Lord of the Rings series on Prime? We're going to tell you why Amazon is putting a pause on reviews for its new TV show on Rotten Tomatoes.
6 a.m., 72 degrees, another muggy morning. Will we see rain on this Labor Day? Mike will have our Labor Day forecast in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. It is Monday, September 5th.
Happy Labor Day. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. I hope everyone is enjoying their day off, watching from the couch or maybe from the patio on KSAT Plus while you're smoking a brisket. No?
City Hall and municipal offices are closed today. Public safety and emergency services are also open. I want to inform you that. So on Labor Day, the kids that usually do the chores around the house got to pick up the trash.
Yeah.
Take a break. Trash isn't coming.
Yeah, they deserve
you
Labor
get a day
Day
off.
And thank you to David. He corrected me. I apologize. I was, because I worked yesterday, so my days are now mixed up. And I kept saying because of the fog and, warning people there in Uvalde about allow themselves a little extra time heading to school. School starts tomorrow, not today. So kids, if you heard that going, I didn't think I had school today. You don't.
Mike, you just freaked out so many kids.
I know.
Wait,
I
what?
apologize for that. I am very sorry. So anyway, we've got some clouds hanging around here in town right now. Visibility is pretty good. But again, out there in Uvalde, quarter-mile visibility right now. It's gone up slightly at Pleasanton, 1.5 miles, and it's also improved somewhat in Gonzales. But going down 37, you're going to run into some of that fog, and then even heading out further out to the west on 90, and it's going to be kind of going back and forth. And a lot of times this fog does get thicker as we approach sunrise and just after that. So keep a lookout in those spots where, and even if there's not fog right now, I mean, it may be the situation where you kind of turn the corner later on and run into a little bit of it. 73 here in town, 60s in parts of the hill country, 74 is the warm spot in Divine right now. And allergens, a lot of mold out there from some of the rain that we've had recently, and fall elm is on the low side. Updated count's going to come out in about an hour and a half, and temperatures will be bottoming out at 71 degrees. Some clouds and some of that fog this morning, and then later on today we're going to see a lot more sunshine, 85 at noon. There's a chance for a couple of showers and thunderstorms out there. Call it a 30% chance for some rain. Like yesterday or even less than that. So if you have outdoor plans, I would not worry about that at all. Just kind of keep an eye out. 93 high temperature is a normal high. Couple of more rain chances, very small ones the next couple of days, but one thing for sure, it is going to be heating up this week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavazos. I see some flashing red lights on some of the monitors here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike, never a good sign. 410 eastbound there at McCullough. We showed you this rollover vehicle that was reported as we went to commercial break, and you can see right now traffic is moving through the eastbound lanes without any trouble, but this issue is taking off place in the shoulder lanes. We do have a TxDOT Hero truck right here. A little bit further up, we do have a first responder, and that vehicle that has turned over right there. Very, very dark, and you can barely really see it there through that TransGuide camera. I wish we could zoom in, but our friends at TransGuide were able to get us this shot, and we're going to keep an eye on it closely. Hopefully, there are no injuries reported, no details just yet, but we are going to make sure that we watch this area and let you know of any developments. Taking you right to the map, where it is reported, as I mentioned, is in the eastbound lanes, not far from McCullough Avenue. Thankfully, these eastbound lanes right here are not seeing any slowdowns just yet, but that could also be because a lot more folks are staying home today. So hopefully that'll be the good news out there, and we will have a better update when the morning does pick up. But as we give you a view of the metro area right now, there's really not a lot to show you. In fact, it's been a pretty quiet morning aside from that rollover incident, but let's take you to those travel times because no delays here either. 29 minutes. It's actually a pleasant drive from Pleasanton on 37 northbound. If you are heading into the Alamo City, 30 minutes on Highway 90 eastbound, traveling in from Castroville, and your arrival from Lytle on 35 northbound looks like 17 minutes. So no worries there or no delays, but of course right here along Loop 410 at McCullough, we will watch this area closely. And again, it does look like we have another first responder that may have showed up on the scene. Hopefully a better update in the next few minutes. David, Sarah.
Thank you, Stephen. Detectives left with a lot of questions this morning after a man was found dead in Converse. This all unfolding around 11:30 last night on Beach Trail Drive. That's not too far from Walsman Old Seguin Road. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says the man was shot and killed in front of a house. Several bullet casings from two different weapons were also found at the scene. At this time, no arrests have been made. BCSO says the suspect left in a silver car.
Well, San Antonio Police and Crime Stoppers needs your help solving a pair of cases. The first one happened back on August 25th. SAPD says a 30-year-old man walked into the Stop and Joy store in the 1900 block of Rigsby Avenue and tried to leave without paying for items. Two employees followed the suspect outside. That's when police say the suspect pulled a gun out of his vehicle and fired several shots at the employees before getting away. Just take a look at your screen if you recognize these men. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers 210-224-STOP. You may remain anonymous and could get a cash reward for the information you provide. And police are also searching for these two individuals pictured on your screen right now. They are believed to be involved in a shooting incident that happened back on May 3rd at the intersection of East Drexel and South Hackberry. That's where officers say a 34-year-old man was hit by a bullet while he was waiting at a stoplight. Police say the gunfire came from further up the road. If you have any information that could help solve either of these cases, call Crime Stoppers. Again, that number on your screen, 210-224-STOP.
Comel ISD investigating reports of, quote, highly inappropriate and demeaning comments made on school property. A parent's Facebook post accuses Canyon High School of yelling racial slurs at a volleyball game. Hayes High School parent Jennifer Price says her daughter and several other volleyball players were targeted during Friday night's game against Canyon. She goes on to say that no one was removed from the game and that the students were allowed to continue heckling the Hayes volleyball team after the game. Comel ISD's superintendent acknowledges the report incident with an apology on Facebook. The post says the district, quote, will not tolerate this sort of behavior. Comel ISD says it is investigating, and those found to have made any racial comments at the game will be disciplined.
Working on healing and finding hope for the Uvalde community as the district gets ready to start the new school year. I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, hear from counselors at the Resiliency Center and how they're helping families get ready to return to the classroom.
In your morning consumer headlines, inflation may be pushing a lot of us to make spending cuts, but one place that's seeing increases, beauty products. Retailers like Target, Kohl's, Macy's, and Nordstrom all pointing to strong sales of beauty items in the second quarter. Ulta Beauty sales are up 17%. And rising prices may be testing our loyalty to high-end detergent brands. Research firm IRI now says sales of premium detergent brands fell nearly 3% in July. Cheaper categories were either flat or growing.
And Amazon is suspending reviews of the new Lord of the Rings series on Rotten Tomatoes. It says the 72-hour hold is to make sure the reviews for Rings of Power are legit and to prevent internet trolls from bringing down their score. The series is Prime Video's biggest premiere ever. And expect Apple to reveal the next generation of Airpods Pro this week. Wednesday's Far Out event will reportedly see the debut of the Airpods Pro 2. Apple is also expected to reveal the new iPhone 14 and 3 new watches, including one designed for athletes in extreme sports.
Taking to Paris now. For more than 3 years after Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was heavily damaged by that massive fire, 8 glass manufacturers from France are now cleaning and restoring 39 high windows in the medieval cathedral. It's a painstaking process. The windows withstood that intense heat and flames, but were heavily damaged with smoke and black dust. But they look good.
Hopefully they can get that restored.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, 609, 72 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, a violent stabbing spree in Canada over the weekend that left at least 10 people dead. Now a manhunt is underway, and we'll tell you what authorities are saying.
President Biden back to Pennsylvania today. I'm ABC's Jay O'Brien in Washington. This after his primetime speech last week and what the former president said in the Keystone State. Coming up.
Another muggy morning, 72 degrees. That's 609. Mike says you can expect some small chances of showers, but will it ruin your Labor Day outdoor plans? He'll let you know when we come back. President Joe Biden is on the road again, holding events in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. It comes as the battle for control of Congress in the upcoming midterm elections. It's heating up.
Former President Donald Trump also in Pennsylvania this weekend, holding his first rally since the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago.
ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest from Washington.
President Biden hitting the road again this Labor Day, celebrating American workers at events in 2 closely watched midterm states, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. This will mark Biden's 3rd trip to the Keystone State in less than a week, most recently in Philadelphia, delivering a stinging rebuke of so-called MAGA Republicans, mentioning his predecessor by name.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Republicans calling his remarks divisive.
Saying that Republicans are a threat to democracy is really a slap in the face.
The president clarifying Friday he wasn't condemning all Trump voters, just those standing by him now after the violence on January 6th and Trump's continued false claims the 2020 election was stolen. But that support on full display this weekend when former President Trump held his own event in Pennsylvania, a rally, teasing possibly another presidential run in 2024.
So I may just have to do it again. But first, we have to win a historic victory for the Republican Party this November.
The former president was in Pennsylvania to campaign for Doug Mastriano, who's running for governor, and Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's running for Senate. But he spent a large portion of the rally, his first since the FBI seized classified documents from his Florida home, using that search to fire up his most passionate supporters. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Still have this issue there at 410 and McCullough. From TransGuide, we are not able to get a clear shot, but we are able to see first responders are out there following a vehicle that looks like it was overturned. This is actually off in the shoulder lane. You can see there that is where we also find first responders working to clear this up. They've laid out the road flares, so just make sure that you watch for them because they'll be walking along this shoulder lane here. This is in the eastbound lanes of 410, not far from McCullough, so an area that we continue to watch. Now, the good news here is that it's not causing any issues for drivers. The eastbound lanes still remain pretty green, and you can see really not a lot to show you out there. However, can't say the same for other parts of the Alamo City. Let's take a drive over here to State Highway 151 in the eastbound lanes just before US 90. Look at this buildup we're already starting to see out there, and that is because of another crash that's been reported in the area. I'll get our friends at TransGuide on the phone and find out exactly if we can get a view of the conditions out there, but nonetheless, our map is already seeing a little bit of a slowdown, so watch out if you are heading along State Highway 151. Let's go ahead and give you a wide look at the map. Nothing else really major to show you just yet. Still pretty early, but again, as I mentioned, it is Labor Day, so hopefully a lot more folks will stay home and just enjoy their drive, but also be on the lookout a little bit later this week. Loop 1604 over on the northwest side of San Antonio. We mentioned this last week. There's going to be relocation of some barriers that have been out there. This will begin on Thursday, September 8th, and wrap on the 15th. It's overnight, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning, so plan your commute ahead of time. time. This will affect the eastbound entrance ramp as a full closure from La Cantera Parkway. But of course, it's on our website. You know where to find it. Grab those phones, open your camera app, scan that QR code. I just updated the list of all the closures taking place in and around the Alamo City. So just make sure you plan your commute ahead of time. Guys.
Thank you, Steve. Here's my observation of the weekend.
What?
Yes.
So when it was really hot and really dry, I was not nailing bugs with my windshield driving down the highway. Very seldom did you get a bug. Now they're all back.
Yeah.
Now
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
like
a
nailing
cricket
bugs.
this
Am I right?
big
Happened to
jumped
me
on
too.
me.
Yeah.
A cricket?
Yes, this big on my walk
Yeah.
last night. Oh, it scared me. Then I was like, oh, it's just a cricket.
But all of a sudden, the bugs started showing up.
And there was a lot of little, I had to run an errand yesterday, and those, are they the snout-nosed butterflies?
Oh,
they're back?
yes, those now they're moths.
Yeah, the
Snout-nosed moths. I think.
All right, I saw a bunch of those over there
Yeah.
by the medical center as
Yikes.
well.
I have a lot of those in my yard too.
I'd rather, what do you rather be, the bug or the windshield? I forget.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, neither.
I don't. There's a song in that, isn't there?
There's another joke too, but I'm not going to refrain from that. Anyway, this is what it looked like in Bernie looking up to the north. There were a couple of thunderstorm clouds that did pop up, and this is going to be the site for some folks later on today. You may see one or two of those thunderstorm clouds off in the distance, but that'll pretty much be about it. And it's not going to be many of them out there, so if you have some outdoor plans, wouldn't change them. We do have mostly cloudy skies, as you can see in this view, looking out there to the northeast over by the airport. The airport is back over there, and hottest day on record. This is the anniversary of it. September the 5th, 2000. It was a Tuesday. It got up to 111 degrees. That's the hottest temperature ever recorded here in San Antonio. The last average 100, by the way, is the 20th of August. Now, the last time we had a triple digit this year, obviously, was around the, about the 5th or 6th of August, when we had that hot start to the week, and then things did start to change. Now, this 111 was just kind of the topper of an extremely hot start to the month of August September, back in 2000. Now, as far as the latest 100-degree day, that was on the 28th of September in 2005, hit 104, and that was also, I remember this one quite well, a very, very hot time that weekend leading into the first couple of days of that week, and 105, and it stayed in triple digits even a few days after, triple digits a few days prior to that. All right, visibility right now, Uvalde quarter mile and mile and a half. It's dropped down somewhat in Pleasanton. So you go down 37, you're going to run into a lot of fog. Go out 90, you're going to run into some of this fog. A little bit of it in and around Gonzales right now. It's 7 miles visibility. Around the metropolitan area, it's not bad. Some clouds hanging around here. Temperatures will stay in the low to mid 70s, and then more sunshine. And we're going to make it up to 85 today at noon. High temperature 93, 1 or 2 of those showers out there. Not a big deal as far as rain. Again, you can probably count them on one hand. Most of us will not see anything as far as rain. That high, that low, in between them, we do have this north to northeasterly flow in the atmosphere. And also, this is, even though the low is very close by, we're kind of on the wrong side of it. The rain's going to be to the east of that. We're sort of on the sinking side of it. Now, we will have 1 or 2 showers around today, tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, but that high is going to pretty much take over, and that's going to keep us on the hot side as we go on into the latter part of the week, as well as going on into the weekend. So as far as rain, we've had off and on here and there. Next couple of days, yes. End of the week, nothing in sight as of right now. 85 degrees, partly cloudy skies today at noon. High temperature is going to make it up to 93. 1 or 2 showers out there, just a couple of them. And then tomorrow, a shower, maybe 1 or 2 of them on Wednesday, here or there. Rain chances are not that great. But then after that, pretty much take it out of the forecast. And we're going to be mid 90s, plenty of sunshine Thursday, Friday, all the way through the weekend. So kind of another little bit of a pattern shift.
Like that. All right. It's all right. We'll deal with it.
You know what? Yeah. I'm not gonna complain.
Because we know winter's coming.
Yes.
At some point.
Hopefully.
That's the operative phrase, at some point.
621 and 72 degrees.
All right, David, I know you watched football this weekend.
A little bit. Not much, but just a little. We had a ton of great college games, and we've got some great NFL games coming up this weekend. We've got a preview of all that to look back as well. It It was a pretty exciting college football Saturday here at home. 37,000 fans packed the Alamo Dome to see the Conference USA Championship banner raised before the UTSA Roadrunners hosted number 24 Houston in what has now become somewhat of a rivalry. And what a rivalry game this turned out to be. 3 overtimes. That's how long it took to decide a winner in the end. The Roadrunners came up just a little short. Houston got the win. The final from the Alamo Dome, 37-35 Houston. Next up for UTSA, the Runners are going to travel to West Point to take on Army. That'll be 11 a.m. on Saturday. In Austin, the Texas Longhorns able to take care of business against visiting Louisiana Monroe on Saturday. Texas looked pretty sharp at its home opener. This one wasn't even close. The final from Austin, Longhorns win it 52-10. And in College Station, A&M taking care of business easily, getting the shutout win at home against Sam Houston State. The final from College Station, A&M 31, Sam Houston nothing. Next up, the Aggies host Appalachian State in a 2:30 kickoff at Kyle Field.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Week 1 of the NFL regular season is about to get underway, and the games will start to count. The Cowboys and Texans are both taking the field this Sunday. Starting with the Texans, they're going to play host to the AFC South rival Indianapolis Colts in an early matchup. A lot of people don't have Houston going very far this season following the loss of quarterback Deshaun Watson. However, they've had a pretty good training camp. A win in Week 1 against a division opponent would be a fantastic start. Kickoff for that one is Sunday at noon. And then later that night, the Cowboys will have a date with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll come welcoming Tom Brady to Jerry World for the Sunday Night Football Classic, a win against the GOAT in prime time. Pretty good statement game if the Cowboys can pull that off. That game's set to start at 7:20 AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And a reminder, if you missed the end of the NFL or college football action, we've got you covered on Instant Replay. It's your home for all sports highlights and scores. Catch it every Sunday night at 11 o'clock right after the KSAT 12 Night Beat. And we were talking a little bit earlier about these football games. Quinn Ewers, we mentioned a little bit earlier, quarterback for Texas, had a great game, walks out, his car's gone. He got towed.
Obviously, there's no preference going on there.
And it happened while he was in there playing and throwing touchdown passes.
Well, I mean, he
Same
should
time.
know of all
Imagine that.
people, like, you know, on those game days, you got to move your car to a certain location.
Got to have the proper pass.
All right, 626 and 72 degrees.
First game at UT and he gets towed. Are you ready for Halloween?
Yes.
Go ahead on GMSA. Are you?
Yes, I love
Halloween, don't you? Why, a little girl's creepy doll is popping up on social media. Does it look that creepy?
Yes.
Okay.
Very creepy. Look at that.
This morning, we are working to learn the name of a man who was killed in a truck crash overnight on the city's west side. We're going to tell you everything we know so far.
Oh no, are you smelling that? There are so many skunks in my neighborhood right now, and a lot of those increases, I'm serious, and those increases, people are seeing more of them. We're going to tell you about that in just a bit.
Are you smelling what the skunk is cooking?
Oh, it wakes me up in the morning. It's not fun.
A live look outside with live cam. Not a bad looking Labor Day,
It's
right?
Labor Day.
We're not laboring today on Labor Day. What's so hot in the studio? You turned up the heat.
It was cold in here.
I can't even think. Man, I'm sweating.
Oh my God, it was
Are you okay?
Are you okay? It was cold. It was okay.
Man.
It was cold, and so I'm the only female in the studio, and so I'm freezing.
It is September. Let's get you a sweater. Because we're already into September.
I was actually telling Mike this earlier.
I'm like,
can I start busting out the sweater? Can I start wearing my sweaters? Can I get my scarf and,
You can do what you want to.
Can't wear white though, right?
I'll wear them in the studio.
Where did David go?
Yeah, he left.
Wide shot here.
He's back over here.
He's gone.
I thought we were done. You told us
here. If you want to wear a sweater, Sarah, go ahead.
I'm going to do it.
Get her a parka for
this
in here.
afternoon, it may be a little bit hot wearing that sweater outside. We've got some clouds hanging around here right now. Temperature is definitely not sweater weather to be outside. 73 degrees, dew points at 70. So, yes, there is some humidity out there. It is not ridiculously humid, a bit more comfortable than yesterday morning as well as Saturday morning. We do have a lot of fog, though, in places. Uvalde still holding it just a quarter mile visibility. Pleasanton has been sort of going back and forth. It was down to a quarter mile at one point, up to about 2.5, back down. Now it's back up to 5 miles visibility. Not bad in and around the metropolitan area. Gonzales had some fog earlier, and that has now cleared on sun out for the time being, but just kind of watch it over the next couple of hours. Mold is on the high side, fall elm low. Updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, some patchy fog around this morning, and then later on this afternoon, a lot of sunshine, a few clouds mixed on in. It is going to be hot, seasonally hot, 93 degrees, and one or two of those showers out there. Very, very few and far between. Most of us aren't going to be seeing anything as far as any rain today. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and we'll have mid-90s. A stray shower can't be completely ruled out, and that's going to be the situation, one or two of them on Wednesday. But actually starting tomorrow and then going in through the rest of the week, it is going to be hot, mid-90s. And after Wednesday, take any rain chances then out of the forecast. How about never too early to start talking about the upcoming weekend. Details on that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, what's going on, Stephen?
You know, Mike, I was thinking it is Labor Day, a holiday, and we were hoping that it would feel like that on the roadways, but it's definitely not been a holiday for these first responders. They've had a pretty busy night. This is one of the crashes that we've been reporting over the morning. You can see there at McCullough where we do have an overturned vehicle out there. Those first responders have laid out the road flares, so you have to watch out for them. Still very dark, and although we're really not seeing a lot of traffic this early, we are still seeing some. So just watch out. They are right there again near the shoulder lane, that overturned vehicle just behind them a little bit further back on Loop 410. This is in the eastbound lanes, and it's one of the many crashes, as I mentioned, that we have been looking at throughout the morning. Let's take you to the map because we know that it's in the eastbound lanes, not far from McCullough, not causing any issues, so that's the good news out there. However, one of the other issues that we were tracking is right over here off State Highway 151 in those eastbound lanes, not far from US 90. You can see earlier there was some yellow that was already starting to build up, and I was already looking for those solutions, but looks like you really won't need it at this point. The crash is still being reported by TxDOT, but just watch out if you are driving through that area. Let's give you a wide look now, and you can see nothing else to talk about this early. If that's some good news, no slowdowns reported, nothing. So just enjoy the roads if you do have to get out there this early in the morning, and always watch for those flashing lights anytime you see a first responder move over or slow down. David, Sarah?
Thank you, Stephen. Some bad news this morning. It has made its way right to the front door of a family's home. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say that is where they found the body of a man who had been shot.
Our Katrina Weber is live in that neighborhood where it happened. It's not far from FM 78 and Walsham Road. Katrina, is there any word on how or why this happened?
Well, when deputies spoke to us late last night, they didn't seem to have any of that information. All they were able to tell us is that the man was found dead outside a home right down the street here in the 6500 block of Beach Trail Drive. And that was just before 11:30 last night. Deputies had that area roped off as they searched for evidence. They told us they found two different sets of shell casings in the area. And at that point, though, they had not found the shooter, the person responsible for that man's death. Now, there are still a lot of unanswered questions this morning, including who that man was and whether he lived in this area or not. And so we are trying to get those answers for you, and we'll have more hopefully later on today. Reporting live in Northeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. A driver is dead this morning after losing control of his pickup truck overnight. It happened around 2:30 at Highway 90 and Southwest Loop 410. That's where officers say the driver's truck lost a wheel before it rolled into the median. The man died at the scene.
Right now, it's not clear what caused the driver to crash his truck.
And an early morning chase ended with a driver crashing into a gas line. This was the scene around 2:30 near Heimer and 281. We're told Hill Country Village police were chasing a driver before that driver crashed. Hazmat and CPS Energy were called in to fix the gas line.
Well, happening out now, all phone lines are currently down at University Health. The hospital made the announcement yesterday just after 2:30 in the afternoon. They said, quote, "We are doing our best to get them back up and running as soon as possible." That's according to officials on Twitter. We'll keep you posted.
I'm Mark Austin in Uvalde, where classes are about to resume at Uvalde CISD. We will have live team coverage tomorrow on GMSA.
And just like Mark, I will also be in Uvalde tomorrow for our live team coverage. So right now on KSAT.com, we're encouraging you to share your thoughts for the new school year and make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. We may share your responses during our newscast. Just look for this story on our homepage.
This weekend, Uvalde came together for the Palomino Festival and Rodeo, and this year's theme was Uvalde Strong. The county fairplex was filled with carnival rides, food, and rodeo fun. Saturday started with a parade where the families of the 21 Robb Elementary victims made a special float with their loved ones' names and faces proudly displayed. The board organized Palomino Fest, debated putting on the festival, but decided because they wanted to do it because it was a great weekend to honor those who were killed and donate to theirs who were hurt.
We decided that the $25,000, instead of going to the scholarships, it's going to go to the families of the students that were injured.
The festivities wrapped up last night with a special tribute to the victims during the Los Palominos performance. Topping your morning headlines, President Joe Biden is back on the campaign trail, heading back to Pennsylvania. This comes after former President Donald Trump called him an enemy of the state. Representatives for Trump say the comment stems from Biden's speech on Thursday when he said Donald Trump and the mega Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. You can look for this story on GMA.
Well, at least 10 people are dead and at least 15 others hurt after a stabbing spree in Canada yesterday. Police say they have identified 13 crime scenes. 2 suspects are still on the loose. Emergency alerts have been going out there since it happened. A manhunt is underway for 2 suspects.
Trending now on KSAT.com, striped skunks are bulking up for the winter, and wildlife officials say that means you could see more of them. If you come across one of the little stinkers, leave it alone. Skunks will usually give warning signs if they are about to spray, like stomping their feet, standing on their front legs, or raising their tail in the air. It's the tail one that always warns you. If that one happens, back away from the skunks very slowly. Once the skunk feels like you are a safe distance away, it'll scamper off.
Keep in mind your dogs in the backyard will get sprayed. Speaking from experience. All right, and this story is giving us all the creepy feels this morning. Take a look at your screen. A 3-year-old is going viral because of her unique doll. Brittany Beard sharing about her daughter Briar's creepy doll on Facebook. She said, quote, "This is what it looks like when you take your 3-year-old to the Spirit Halloween store, and she absolutely insists on buying the creepiest baby doll you've ever set your eyes on." The little girl said, "Mommy, it needs me." So her mom nicknamed the creepy doll Chloe. You can check out both of the stories on our website. You know what's even creepier is that the little girl was like, "Mommy, the doll needs me. It's talking to me." I hope that doll's not possessed or anything. Oh, that is creepy.
Creepy in a lot of ways. 639, 72 degrees.
From homeless to hero, coming up on GMSA, Front and Center brings you a story of a veteran who is doing great things despite the odds being stacked against her. You won't want to miss this incredible story.
Time now to tell you about the story of a woman's remarkable survival.
Her grit and perseverance led to her escape from the traps of drug addiction and sex trafficking.
Jonathan Cotto sat down with the military veteran who shares her journey from homeless to hero.
"You'll never make me put this to my head again," my mom said as she held the gun up in front of me. This is an example of the length she was willing to go in order to cause emotional damage despite my undying love for her.
These are words in a book, but for Janae Sergio, they mean so much more.
I come from a family, like a broken family. I never met my father, and my mom had 3 daughters by the age of 21 by 3 different dads. And so she was a single mom trying to raise us.
Sergio says her mother came from a broken family and projected the trauma on her.
So I dealt with a lot of physical abuse and emotional abuse growing up. Around the age of 16, I was actually sexually assaulted. And that was my first experience. And my mom decided she didn't want to deal with the situation. So she took me to Hollywood, California, and she dropped me off at a homeless shelter in Hollywood where I had to spend the next 2.5 years surviving as a teenager.
She says nothing could have prepared her to survive the streets.
It was like a drop-in shelter, so it wasn't a stable place to stay. I had to come every night at 7 o'clock and get a bed. If I didn't get a bed, I just had to walk the streets at night.
4 homeless shelters later, Sergio was able to avoid sex trafficking and drug addiction. In a constant state of fight or flight, she always thought of her mom.
You know, it's really sad because I still wanted her approval, and along the way I kept hoping that she would come back and get me.
She looked to the military as an escape and the start of a brand new chapter.
The Navy gave me promises of hope, of something that was a 3 to 5 year plan instead of a day-by-day plan. And so I was like, you know what, I have nothing to lose. Let's do it. And so I just went.
Sergio was one of the first service members sent to war after 9/11. She finished her GED while deployed conducting combat aero operations in Afghanistan at the start of Operation Enduring Freedom.
I did, and I felt like I finally had a purpose. I think, you know, most of my life I didn't feel like I was really worth anything in this world.
Sergio served for 8 years. She's since built a 6-figure online boutique business, is now a published best-selling author, and married with 2 daughters.
At some point in your life, you're going to have to realize that no one's coming to save you, and you're going to have to step up and be your own hero.
Sergio says she never allowed herself to become a victim of her circumstances, and she hopes her story will inspire others to never quit. Reporting front and center, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks, Jonathan. Amazing story. One of the things I noticed, she had victim crossed out and had hero underneath it. So great story from our Jonathan Cotto. Thank you. Let's get a look right now. US 90 at Leon Creek. Things don't look too bad there. We know that there are some incidents that are still popping up around town. Be on the lookout. 14 at Fredericksburg is not a problem spot, but there at McCullough, we still have that overturned vehicle. It's hard to make out whether or not they flipped it over. It does look that way from that TransGuide camera, but nonetheless, this is in the eastbound lanes as we've reported, and it is not causing any issues. So that is a good news. This is typically a pretty busy time because it is morning rush hour, so we'll usually see a lot more folks out there, but looks like because it's Labor Day, we're not really seeing that traffic. Do have an update with this crash. We saw some buildup that was taking place in the eastbound lanes before US 90 right there, State Highway 151. Now, it's not clear whether or not this crash has already cleared out, but it does look like it's not causing any issues anymore. So there's the good news. Let's give you a wide look now of the metro area. Nothing else to talk about, but I think I may have jinxed myself, guys. I-10 there. Looks like we may have had another crash reported, maybe near Rigsby, but I'll have to take a closer look from our friends at TransGuide, maybe get a view of the conditions as well. But taking it back here, traffic is moving just fine. 281 at 1604. Mike Osterhage, it was a pretty nice weekend.
Yeah, and it was nice because we had a lot of clouds hanging around here yesterday, which kept temperatures down. And I saw in some of those shots, some of those cameras looked like we had a lot of clear skies. Going to be good moon viewing weather going in toward the weekend. Beautiful view right now of the waxing gibbous moon. Yeah, comfortable temperatures. Made it a nice night for looking at the moon, and the moon is going to be full on Saturday. Here in this shot, as you can see, we got plenty of clouds hanging around here right now, but where there has been some clear skies, that's what's sort of helped out with the fog, because that allowed the heat to escape out in space instead of having a blanket on top of us. And that's one of the reasons why Uvalde has been dealing with a lot of fog this morning. Was it quarter-mile visibility? Now it has improved somewhat, and still a little bit of fog around Pleasanton heading down toward Karnes County. Nothing in and around town right now. We're going to be at 71 degrees, so we'll bottom out there and then start to warm up, get up into the 80s throughout the rest of the morning. A lot more sunshine, 85 at noon. Going to top off at 93 today. 30% chance for a stray shower or two around here. Just one or two of them at best. I really, if you have any outdoor plans, I really wouldn't worry about it as far as rain. They're going to be so few and far between. At least the humidity is going to be dropping down somewhat later on this afternoon because, you know, the past few, well, even yesterday and then going back in toward last week, we had a lot of afternoon humidity, so it was just really, really steamy in the afternoons. Yes, we will have somewhat of the heat index today. It's not going to be bone dry air, but it's not just going to be over the top humidity later on this afternoon. Here's the rapid update computer model. Again, one or two of those showers trying to pop up here or there late this afternoon, going into dinner time. Again, you can almost count them on one hand, and that'll pretty much be about it. As far as the tropics are concerned, by the way, we have two systems right now. That is Tropical Storm Earl. It is going to be moving up in toward probably just to the east of Bermuda. And then that is Hurricane Danielle. That is sliding off to the north to northeast out in the middle of the North Atlantic. There's one more sort of a wave trying to come off the African coast there around the Cape Verde Islands, which may develop into something. But yeah, it has been extremely quiet so far, and we got through no named storms in the Atlantic Basin all throughout the entire month of August, despite some of the predictions about being an active hurricane season. Now, we still have 3 months to go with it, so it's not done by any means. 85 degrees, partly cloudy skies today at noon, and then high temperatures going to make it up to 93. A shower or two, one or two of them out there. Then tomorrow, you can't rule out a shower. 94, 95 on Wednesday, one or two of them out there as far as showers. And then after that, pretty much no rain in the forecast, and temperatures are going to be in the mid 90s all the way through the end of the week going into next weekend. So after a somewhat, rainy-ish pattern, now a little bit of a different pattern change, though. And it's going to be on the hot side, about 3-4 degrees above normal.
Oof. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
650, 72 degrees.
Taking a look outside with live cam. Like Mike was saying, it's going to be a muggy morning. We hope you're enjoying your Labor Day, watching from the comfort of your couch or maybe from your patio porch as you might be smoking a brisket.
And if you're warm, you can always go outside.
I might have to
if you're cold, you can always go outside.
Yeah, like I am cold right now.
In your GMA First Look right now, airports are packed with travelers for the Labor Day holiday. So if you're going to the airport, on your way to go home, be ready. Numbers are reaching pre-pandemic levels. Look for that story and more coming up at 7 o'clock right here on KSAT.
Time. It's life's most precious commodity, especially when you have metastatic breast cancer. When your time is threatened, it's hard to invest in your future until now. Kisqali is helping women live longer than ever before when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's proven to delay disease progression. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Your future is ahead of you, so it's time to make the most of it with Kisqali. Because when you invest in yourself, everyone gets the best of you.
Working on healing and finding hope for the Uvalde community as the district gets ready to start the new school year. I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, we'll be live here in Uvalde for the first day of school.
All right, let's get one last look at the morning commute. You can see 410 at Fredericksburg. Nothing really to show you out there, but better news here at McCullough. That crash is in the clearing stages. I just talked to our friends at Transcode over the phone, so better news out there, but still watch out. It was in the eastbound lanes, not far from McCullough. We are keeping our eye on another crash over here off State Highway 151 before 90, and a third crash actually just a little bit further here off of I-10 in those westbound lanes, not far from Rigsby Avenue. Mike.
Thanks, sir. Still plenty of clouds in places like this view out there by the airport. Temperature, fog, pardon me. A lot of it's still around Uvalde, down around Karnes County. Elsewhere, not bad. Just watch it in those spots over the next couple of hours. 73 here in town, and we're going to make it up to 93 later on today with a shower or two.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, happy Labor Day. We'll see you guys back here at 9 a.m.